This is the ASICS Gel-Kayano 33. We've got a pretty big update on this, so we're gonna go ahead and do a first look and a first fit to see how, one, it feels on foot, and two, how this new foam setup feels with a new guidance system as well. This comes out June 1st, so we are ahead of the game. We're about a week ahead of the release date, and hopefully this helps you decide if this is something you wanna pick up or if maybe another Kayano 32 is in your future. So the weight and the heel to toe drop are pretty much staying the same. We've got 39 millimeters of stack in the back, down to 31 in the forefoot for an 8 millimeter offset. And the weight is just coming down about 0.2 ounces down to 10.5 for a men's sample size versus a 10.7 ounce sample size in the previous version. And we do still get all this nice plush padding here. We've got plenty around the heel collar. We got the pull tab there. We've got a pull tab on the front. All things that we really like to see. It's meant to be very comfortable up top, but the real story here is we've got FF Blast Max on the top, and that's going to be all of this gray foam through here, as well as through this U here. Now, that's opposed to the FF Blast Plus that is through all of this blue foam right here, and that is what all of the foam was in the 32. So pretty big update. And they mess with formulations a little bit, but the FF Blast Max is going to be your softer feeling foam. That's what's in the Nova Blast 5. And that's going to be an interesting feel to have in a Kayano. And they could have firmed it up a little bit, but very curious to see how that feels on foot. Now, with all good stability shoes, the stabilization is going to be a really big piece to that. And as always, we've got a really wide base here, which helps out a ton. But we don't have that same kind of really hard posting that we have here. Conveniently, being in a running store, we have the previous version where we had that 4D guidance system, and we have that FF Blast Plus through the whole foam, or throughout the whole midsole. That makes it a really interesting conversation. Is this going to be a toned down version of a 32? And I should be able to get a pretty good sense of that. So I'll put it on foot, tell you sizing, tell you fit. And then, although it's not huge, I can do a little bit of running here in the store. We'll go down and back a couple of times. And that should give us a pretty good idea of how it feels in relation to the 32. So let's go ahead and get this on foot. We'll have a seat and get it on. All right, so we are going to toss off the Torrens and we will go ahead and slip this guy on. We did go for a size 12 if I have to go up. Obviously, I can just take a look in the back, but more so, you'll have an idea of if you should go up or not if you're between sizes. Initial thought on slip-in is it feels a little close up here. I feel like I've got just about a half thumb, which if I'm sitting down, I usually want a little more than that, especially early on in the day. So we'll get it tied up and then we'll do some walking. Okay. All right, so as always, we'll get a little bit of a squish test here. So that's actually pretty not bad. The FF Blast Plus, the blue foam, looks like it's pretty willing to collapse there. If I come to the back of the heel, same thing, the blue, and actually it's much more willing to collapse to the outside as opposed to the inside. But that is really nice feeling. It is just like a nice amount of cushion in the heel, not overstated, not understated. So no, it does not feel like the guidance went away at all. It still feels pretty prominent, actually. It feels like it's almost built up here on the side. And for a stability shoe, I know it's supposed to do that, but like, it feels like it's almost canting me out a little bit. Again, stability shoes are supposed to do that, but I don't even feel that in all the stability shoes anymore. And this fluid guidance system should theoretically be a little bit less than the 4D guidance system that was in the 32. Like when something's moving up, I feel like I usually get pushed out a little bit more. So I'm really interested to see when we move, are we going to get pushed out as we're running or not? So with that said, I'm gonna go just trot down that way and see what there is to feel. I mean, pretty substantial. There's a lot of cushion in the heel, so that pure gel piece is still inside it, so you still have gel in the heel, but it is like dramatically the feeling is really dramatic, kind of pushing you out. As somebody who does not have any real stability needs, I don't know if it's something that I'd be searching for, but for the right person, I think it's going to do a great job because it actually feels better. It feels like, you know, you can compartmentalize these different things. I feel a lot of support through the arch. I feel like I'm getting pushed out a little bit, but the foam itself feels really good. And I like this transition forwards. Like it's got a very smooth heel to toe roll. And as somebody myself that likes a nice heel strike, it feels good in that sense. Just a little bit too much support for my foot. Now, the sizing actually does feel really good. It feels better than I expected it was going to when I was sitting down. So size 12, true to size for me for sure. I usually go size 12, maybe 12 and a half, depending on how the shoe fits. 12 and a half, usually the shoe is running pretty short. But this feels pretty good on sizing. I do not feel like I would need to change that at all. Now, I do always want to be thorough, so we have the 32 out here as well. I'm going to go ahead and slip this on foot and just give you any big dramatic differences between the two, because as always, like the tangible on foot feel is the thing that matters the most to me. As always, you can find these shoes on mountainrunningcompany.com. We have got them up and ready to rock. The 32s are on sale, so if you are a diehard 32 fan, you can get those online for a pretty good deal. Or the 33s are ready to rock and roll. If you've got any questions on them, by all means, you can always reach out here in the comments. I try and respond to pretty much everything that's out there. So, with that said, let's walk around in these 32s. And yeah, this is kind of the take that I've generally had, is these with the 4D guidance system actually don't feel overstated. In terms of their support, the 33s actually feel more aggressive, even though they removed the 4D guidance system. Might have something to do with that dual density setup, having the two different foams here. But if you need more stability than the Kayano 32s gave you, the 33s might be a really good option. So that was our first look at the ASICS Gel-Kayano 33. If you have questions, or if you want to see me do a full run review in this where I go through all my normal running paces, I'm happy to do it if I have enough interest in it. If you want to get a pair of these, you can use code JSYT10 in the checkout at mountainrunningcompany.com, and that'll get you 10% off a brand new pair of shoes that aren't even released yet. Would love to see you guys support the local independent running stores that are out there. So with that said, I hope you guys have a great day. Do something good for your body. Hope you have some happy miles. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.